Hello everyone, welcome to Birch and Lily, my video podcast about knitting and cross stitch. Today is July 16th and my name is Amanda. You can find me on two places on the internet. The first is on Instagram at birch.and.lily and the second is on Ravelry at Birch and Lily. If you're looking for any information about what I talk about today, my show notes will be below in the description. And I just wanted to thank everyone as well for watching this video. If you're new, a big hello and thank you and welcome. I hope you enjoy my video. And if you're returning, a big thank you to you as well. It makes me so happy to see so many people that are enjoying what I put out every couple weeks. So with that, let's get into the knitting. I don't know if you can notice that I am wearing a finished garment today. I think this is going to be the only time that I ever have a finished garment on 2 episodes in a row. I don't know how this happened. Well, actually I do. I was on vacation visiting family over the past week. And so this was one of the projects that I brought along with me, and it was the one that got the most work put onto it just because it was really easy to work on while I was sitting and talking to everyone. So I guess I'll stand up and I will give you guys a peek. This is my Taenia sweater by Caitlin Hunter. So I have my mic on. Hopefully that doesn't ruin the view too much for you guys. But this is my Tegna sweater and I am so incredibly happy with it. It is just gorgeous. Super wearable, not too warm, surprisingly. I think last episode I had complained a lot about my soldano crop being really warm and I had to change with all the lighting and stuff. It was making me too warm. But this is knit out of fingering weight at a really loose gauge, so it's super cozy, not too warm, which I like because I think I'll be able to get more wear out of it throughout the year. So this is knit out of Sweet Fiber, their super sweet sock in the colorway Rose Gold. I think I used about 2.5 skeins. I knit the size small. I used for the main needle a 3.5 millimeter needle. I can't remember what that is in US terms. And then for the ribbing needle, I used a 3.25. So when I had finished this originally and put it on before blocking, I did find it a little snug for my liking, especially in the sleeves. But once I blocked it, I think it fits perfectly. I'm really happy with the sleeve length and with the length of the garment itself. I'll stand on my tippy toes here for you guys. It hits at a really good spot, and I love that it has this little bit of a flare out to it here at the bottom where the lace is. Trying to think what else I can say. I knit everything to the called for. I knit this to the called for, or the body to the called for length. The sleeves are the called for length. I did try it on as I went though, just to see if I wanted to make the body longer or the sleeves longer, but I was pretty happy with everything the way it was. The only other thing I can think of to say while I'm standing up here is that I used the helical knitting method to alternate skeins on this project. I think you guys haven't seen my eyeballs the whole time I've been talking, so maybe I'll sit down. So what I was saying, with this garment, I used the helical knitting method to alternate skeins for the body, which is incredible. If you haven't tried it before, oh my goodness, it doesn't leave a seam at all. So you don't get any of those stitches that look like they're too tight or anything like that. Very pleased with it, and it's very mindless. I did have to, once I separated for the sleeves here, I did have to do a little bit of the traditional alternating method, just because I couldn't figure out how to make the helical method work. That's just me. I'm sure there's some way to make it work, but it was easier for me just to do the traditional method. So there is, and surprisingly you can't see them, but there are a little bit of seams here and in the back as well. And then I went back to alternating for the sleeves. I didn't alternate in the lace. that worked out just fine for me. I didn't want to have to deal with figuring that out. It was just easier to use one skein. And I find with lace, because there's so much going on, you don't really notice that you're only using the one skein. And this yarn, just looking at it now, it really didn't, what's the word I'm looking for? It didn't pool very much, so if at all. But yeah, so I didn't alternate for the lace. The moment I got to the stockinette on the body, I started to alternate. So yeah, I'm very, very, very pleased with this. I think I like it so much that I would make another one. The only modification I think I would make is to maybe make one size bigger, just so it's a little bit looser and baggier. I hate to say baggier, but that's the best way I can think of to describe it. This ended up being a little bit tighter than expected, even with me hitting gauge. I think it's just because I have a larger bust, and so even though it's supposed to be loose, that kind of takes up a lot of the space in the sweater, and so then it ends up being a little bit snugger than I expected. But yeah, very happy with it. Other than maybe knitting a larger size, if I was to do it again, I wouldn't make any changes. So yeah, that is my Taenia sweater, and I guess we'll move on to my knitting works in progress. I don't have tons, and now I'm looking at my notes, and I guess I do have 4 works in progress. But I didn't work on a lot of stuff while I was gone, just because I wanted easygoing projects that I could work on while I was talking to people, while I was on the plane. That didn't take too much thinking. So let's get started. So I think this week we'll get my Desert Vista Dyeworks socks out of the way, since I have a pair of these to show literally every episode. These are my stockinette socks for the year. I am participating in the Desert Vista Dyeworks yearly knit along. I don't know what the exact name for it is, but basically every month you have to start and finish a pair of socks in Desert Vista Dyeworks yarn, and if you get through the whole year worth of knitting socks, so if you get 12 pairs of socks done, one a month, you win a skein of yarn that is exclusive to the knit along. That's the word I was looking for, exclusive to the knit along. So I have kept up with it so far. I'm hoping I can keep up with it throughout the year. I am getting a tiny bit burnt out, but what can you do? So these socks are in a bag by the Scrappy Thread. This has been one of my favorite bags lately. I don't know what it is about the floral and the stripes that I just love it. And I don't know if you can see, if I hold this up closer here, that she has quilted the bag as well. I don't know, that just adds something even more sweet to it. So I love this bag. It's wonderful. It's super cute, super well made. It's got this beautiful little zipper pull, stitch marker, something, whatever you want, I guess, on it. And the fabric inside is this cute little polka dot. But I think I showed you guys these socks last episode. Since then, I have completed one. So I will place that on a blocker for you. Looking at this now, I'm almost wondering if I didn't have a sock started last episode. I don't feel like checking my notes. But I don't have a marker on here. Maybe I didn't, or maybe I just forgot to put a stitch marker on here. But this is darn string. This is the first sock that I have completed. This is knit out of a Gradient Speckle Christmas. It is a Christmas colorway, but it definitely doesn't look Christmassy, so that's kind of why I chose it this month. I know the big thing sometimes is Christmas in July, just getting yourself prepared for Christmas and stuff, so I figured a summery looking color that has a Christmas name would be perfect for Christmas in July. So I did knit these a little bit shorter than I usually do. They still mate the 3-inch leg requirement for the knit along though. And here is my second sock, which is tangled up as always. I cannot keep my yarn untangled in a bag, apparently. So this is my second sock. I am about at the point where I can put in my markers for the afterthought heel, but I will just keep knitting this sock until I finish the toe, and then I will put in my afterthought heel. So I think I'm on track to have these done quite soon. like always, these are my on-the-go car knitting sort of things. So now that we are not on vacation anymore, I think these will get a lot of work done on them. So as usual with any of my stockinette vanilla socks, I'm knitting them on a 2.25 millimeter needle. I cast on 60 stitches. I did a 2x2 rib and a normal wedge toe and afterthought heel, like I've said already. So yeah, boring, plain vanilla sock. I just hit my chair with the sock blocker. Yeah, hoping to have these done by the end of the month so that I can keep up with the knit along. I always make such a mess in here when I'm filming, and it's not fun to clean up. Yeah, I need to tidy in here really bad. If you could see the floor right now, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. So next I have another pair of socks to show you guys. These are in this bag, which I'm sure you've seen before. It is by Lost and Fawned. She doesn't make bags anymore, but super cute. And these are my Cliff Walk socks. They are knit out of Woolberry Fiber Co yarn in the Biscotti Moment colorway. This was from her Gilmore Girls sock club. I believe this was June of 2018's colorway. So here it is caked up. And I have not finished the first sock. This one just wasn't as convenient. I brought it along on the plane, but it wasn't as convenient to work on because I feel like I have to have the pattern in front of me the whole time. So I did get further than last episode, though. I was at the marker before, so I did get the rest of the leg, the heel turned, and a little bit started on the foot. I think the other reason why I didn't work on it on the plane was because I didn't want to take my shoe off and try the sock on to see if it fit, because that's just, that feels weird to me. So these will get some more work now that we are home as well. The yarn is a dream to work with. I believe this is on their Woolberry Fiber Co 80/20 base. I can't remember the exact name of it, but it is 80/20. I'm knitting these up on 2.25 millimeter needles. This is on my Chiagu mini twist, or one of my sets of my Chiagu mini twist needles. I love these needles. The cable is just so flexible. It's incredible, but it doesn't stick in the way that it's been bent. It always goes back quite nicely without getting stuck in any said position. I did a 1x1 twisted rib like the pattern calls for. I don't think I mentioned the Cliff Walk socks are a pattern from Curious Handmade. It is a part of their Handmade Sock Society round 2 from this year. So if you want to get this pattern right now, you have to buy the whole collection, which I think is totally worth the money. I don't think she's ever had a sock pattern in either of her 2 Handmade Sock Societies that I haven't thought was beautiful. Otherwise, if you want this pattern just by itself, you have to wait until next year when she releases them separately. But I will show you the pattern a little bit closer up. It's this absolutely gorgeous mock cable. It is very, very easy to do. I just have a hard time memorizing the pattern just because it isn't terribly intuitive. So that's why I have to have it in front of me while I'm working on it. But yeah, I'm looking forward to getting this sock done and getting started on the second one. If I missed anything, you can always ask me in the comments down below. Okay, so I have one more pair of socks to show you, and these I was working on last week as well. They are the Wingardium Leviosa Socks by Twin Stitches Design. Julie is the designer behind Twin Stitches, and they are in a Birch Grove bag. I've shown this bag many times, so I won't talk about it too much. Now, I can't remember if I had one sock done or not. No, I did have one sock done for sure last episode. I will show that to you guys on a blocker again though really quick. So this is it. This is knit out of yet another Woolberry Fiber Co. Gilmore Girls Sock Club yarn. This one is I Smell Snow, also on their 80/20 base. I'll show you the cakes really quick while I'm thinking of it. The little one is a mess, but those are the cakes right there. Absolutely beautiful, all shades of blue. So it is a beautiful lace design with zigzag cables running up both sides. I believe last episode this pattern was not released. It is released now, so I will make sure that I link it down below for you guys. Absolutely gorgeous. I did the 64 stitch size with a 1x1 twisted rib, just a normal slip stitch heel flap and gusset, and a normal wedge toe. So I have got a decent amount. See, I forgot to put progress keepers on a lot of these, but I was done this sock last episode. I do know that for a fact. So what I have got done since then is this. So this gives you a really good idea of what the sock looks like from the front. So I think I'm 5 repeats into the leg. I did 7 on the last sock, so I don't have tons more to do, and then I'll be able to turn the heel. I'm hoping to have these done by next episode. I think I'm going to take a little bit of a break from the Woolberry Fiber Co. sock sets, just to give some of my other yarn in my stash a little bit of love, and then I will come back to these after. I don't know if I mentioned these are knit on a 2.25 millimeter needle, and I did say 64 stitches, I know that. So yeah, I'm really enjoying these, and like I said, the pattern has been released, so definitely go and grab that from Julie and knit you some socks. Summer is the perfect sock knitting time because socks don't sit in your lap and make you super warm and sweaty. Yeah, this episode is going to be a quick one. But when you're gone for half of the time between the previous episode, you don't have options to start lots of new stuff. Which is probably a good thing for me, because I was looking at my pile of works in progress this morning when I was pulling the stuff out that I needed, and oh my goodness, I need to get some stuff done. Don't tell my husband though, because he keeps telling me that, and I'm like, oh no, I'm fine. There's not too much. I'll get it done. It's really bad. So I have 2 things that are not socks to show you guys. This first one is a new work in progress. It is in a massive bag. I don't know if I'll be able to hold it. Oh yeah, I can. This bag was a gift from my parents when they went on a trip to Germany. I think it was Germany. It's got this beautiful fabric on the inside. Does it have a tag? I cannot pronounce this, but I'll hold it up for you guys. So this is where it's from, if you are interested. But it is perfect for holding a full sweater quantity of yarn, which is what it's doing right now. I have cast on the Weekender by Andrea Mowry in Knit Picks yarn. What kind of yarn is this? Knit Picks Stroll Tweed. So I have the colorway Flagstone Heather and the colorway Indigo Heather. I'm holding these together and marling them to get the required weight for the sweater. And I'm loving it so far. Oh my goodness, it's so pretty and it feels so cozy. This stroll yarn is so soft. I'm hoping it will hold up well. That is my only worry, because it's so soft that it might not hold up as well as something that's a little bit, I hate to say a little bit itchier, a little bit toothier. That's the word I'm looking for. But because it's very cheap, if it doesn't last, I'll just need another one. So I haven't got, sorry, I've got 2 skeins of, or 4 balls of yarn going right now because I'm holding 2 together. Let's see, I'm in the middle of a round, of course. So this is it from the front. So it has a split hem. There, you can kind of tell it there. Has a split hem, so I have done that and I've connected together and I'm working on the body. This sweater is worked inside out because the majority of it is a purl texture. Working it inside out makes sure that you don't have to purl the whole sweater, which I'm exceptionally thankful for because I hate purling. So if you look at the inside of it here, this is what the sweater will look like. It's this beautiful pearl texture with this slip stitch seam going up both the front and the back. And I am exceptionally proud of myself because I did a tubular cast on. And oh my goodness, I don't know if you can tell, but it is the most beautiful looking thing ever. Which makes me want to do a tubular cast on for everything now. At least sweater wise. Wouldn't do it for socks because it doesn't have tons of stretch, but for a sweater, it's perfectly fine. It just gives the most beautiful, professional looking finish to the edges of the sweater. I don't know why every sweater doesn't do this. Like, if I would have done a tubular bind off on this ribbing here, oh my goodness, it would have looked, not that it doesn't look pretty, like I love it, but it would have looked like 1,000 times prettier. So I think I might have found a new favorite cast on. I haven't done the bind off yet. We'll see how I feel about the bind off, but the cast on is beautiful. So this has kind of just been my mindless TV watching knitting lately. There's a tiny little bug floating in the air. I am knitting these on what needles? I don't know. Let me look. So I went down a needle size on every needle from what she called for. So I am using, I looked at it and I've forgotten again. I'm using a 4 millimeter, a 4.5 millimeter, and a 5 millimeter needle. So that is a US 6, US 7, and US 8. So I used the smallest needle, the US 6 for 4 millimeter. My goodness, I cannot remember what I just said. So I used the 4 millimeter for the tubular cast on, and then switched to the 4.5 for the ribbing, and then switched to the 5 for the body. And I like it so far. It's a little hard to tell the size of it because it's a little scrunched up on these needles. The pattern calls for a 40-inch 100 centimeter needle, but I just found it was stretching my stitches too much when I was knitting with it, so I went down a cable size. But I think I will put this on scrap yarn pretty soon just to kind of see where I'm sitting size-wise. I think it'll be fine. Like, holding this up to my Taenia right now, like, it's hitting at about the right spot, so it should be okay. And it will grow, obviously, when I block it. So I'm really hoping this will be a nice, cozy winter sweater. Rhinebeck sweater, maybe? Not that I'm going to Rhinebeck, but we can call it a Rhinebeck sweater. Yes, I don't think there's much else I can say about this. It's a beautiful pattern by Andrea Mowry. I think everyone and their dog has knit it. Lots of people have done it with this Knit Picks tweed. I think, I'm trying to think who's done it. I think Rachel from Hey Sister has done it with 2 colors, marled, and some other people. I'm blanking, of course, because I'm trying to come up with names, and when I have to come up with names on the fly, I can't. So I have show notes. Oh, the one thing I forgot to say about my weekender, I'm knitting the size small. So I have one more knitting project to show you guys. I have shown you this before. It's my Northeasterly blanket. This pattern is by, I believe, Skananigans, something like that. It'll be linked down below. I hadn't shown you guys this in a while just because it was kind of on hiatus because I was busy with 2 sweaters at once. But I did put a little bit of work into it over the past couple days since I've been home from our trip. So I wanted to show you guys. So last time I showed this to you, strings everywhere, I should weave them in. I believe I was about halfway through this colorway here. So what I am doing is alternating between my scrap yarn and a Knit Picks colorway. The gray that I'm using, the Knit Picks colorway, is Knit Picks Stroll Fingering in Dove Heather. The reason I'm doing this is because for some reason, I don't know. For some reason, I don't like when a whole bunch of different colored yarns touch. Might be weird, might not, I don't know. So what I'm gonna do is always make sure that there is gray in between all of those colorways. So like this next, once I once I do the next row, beside this gray here will be a colored scrap, and then beside this colored one will be gray, so that they don't touch. I'll be alternating it. So I believe this colorway here was a club colorway from Yarn Ink called Carnival. And this colorway here I used in my Sweet Dahlia shawl. This is by Sugar Plum Circus. I believe the colorway is Hawthorn. So yeah, really pretty. This gray section looks exceptionally long now that I'm looking at it, but it's just because everything has different gauges. What I've been doing is putting this little marker in at the start of each new color, and then I'm counting my slip stitches down the middle and having 26 slip stitches before I start the next color. So even though this looks super long, it is 26 stitches, and this is 26 stitches, and this is 26. Or I guess repeats, not stitches, repeats. So that's kind of my way to make sure that everything is the same size, because I'm a little OCD about that. I don't want sections to be longer because then the color might touch another color, and oh no. So yeah, really enjoying that. That's just kind of my mindless, I don't feel like thinking about anything project, even more mindless than my weekender sweater. So that is all I have for knitting, and surprisingly I'm already at half an hour, which I didn't think I would get to because I didn't work on that much stuff in the past couple weeks. But I have 2 cross-stitch things to show you. I really did not cross-stitch at all. I didn't do it at all when we were home on our vacation, and I didn't do it on the plane. The past couple days I did do a little bit, just because the one project is a stitch-along, or a mystery stitch-along rather, and I was trying to catch up because the next clue is coming out on the 18th, I think. So might as well start with that one. This is in a new project sleeve that I got from Love You More Studios. This was from their Alice Club. I believe this is Rifle Paper Co. fabric. I could be wrong, but super cute. This is my Hello Pumpkin mystery stitch along by Caterpillar Cross Stitch. The crinkling is my threads here in my floss away bags. So I am using all of the called for DMC threads for this, but I'm not using the called for fabric. Instead, I am stitching this on 36 count vintage country mocha. And I have a little thread hanging here. Hopefully that's not in the way too much for you guys. So that is what I have got done. I believe last time it was just the tree stump that was finished, and now I've kind of added all the stuff up and around the owl to the project. Yeah, super pleased with it. I am just doing one thread over 2 squares on the linen, and yeah, I'm almost caught up. So having fun with that one. The colors are, shouldn't talk while I'm crinkling. The colors are kind of out of my normal wheelhouse. I'm definitely more of a primitive color stitcher, but it's been really fun and summery, which is funny because it is a autumn themed cross stitch pattern. That was the word I was looking for. It's autumn themed, but it's really cute. I'm really enjoying it. And I am not 100% sure that I worked on this since the last episode, but I was too lazy to look back and see. So I'm just going to show this to you again, and hopefully I have a little bit of progress. This is, first I will show you, this is in a bag by Pretty Southern. This is Berry Cottage by Plum Street Samplers. I will pop up a picture on the side for you of what it is, just because it's hard to see inside of its little plastic. This is, what fabric is this on? This is on 36 count light mocha, and yes, that's the right side. There we go. Yeah, looking at this now, I don't think I've done anything since last episode. So here is a second look at Berry Cottage. Woohoo. Yeah, like I said, just being away and all that, it's hard to work on cross stitch. I find it just takes too much concentration. So So yeah, I brought it with me. Not to say I didn't bring it, but I just didn't put in a lot of work on it in the past couple weeks. So that is episode 15 for you guys. I hope you enjoyed. And like I always say, if you have any questions, please leave them down below. Thank you so much for coming and joining me this week. We will see you in 2 weeks. Bye.